Breaking news, newsflash. There does not exist in the borough of Manhattan, New York, or Brooklyn, New York, or the Bronx, New York, or whatever the other boroughs are. Newsflash, there does not exist a competent African-American lawyer in the state of New York, in any of the boroughs of New York, not one competent black lawyer in New Jersey, not one competent African-American lawyer in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, in that three-state area. There does not exist even one competent African-American lawyer. That has to be the case. Or Diddy Combs, the billionaire African-American person who's made billions of dollars, largely from African-Americans, or P. Diddy did not even attempt to hire an African-American lawyer when he was indicted. P. Diddy Combs arrested in New York after federal indictment. P. Diddy Combs, whatever you feel about him, and I don't care. Again, this is not one of these just weird elite things. P. Diddy Combs was indicted yesterday in New York. P. Diddy Combs, his lawyer made an appearance, and his lawyer is this gentleman, Mark Agnifilo. Mark Agnifilo. There he is. There's Mark. Mark is not African American. He is not a club member. He's not a minority. He's Mark Agnifilo. Sean P. Diddy Combs, because he's so committed to black people, went out and hired a Caucasian lawyer to defend him. Here's the interesting part that I love at some level, and this is this part, which I can't seem to get done. Here's by the way, here is a statement from Mark Agnifilo. The irony. Tell me if you can catch the irony in this statement. I'll read it to you. We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the black community. Uplifting the black community apparently doesn't include hiring a competent African-American attorney. Why does this matter on the Fletchcast? I'll tell you why it matters. I've said over and over again, the problems that impact the African-American community are largely self-inflicted. Yes, there's horrific discrimination, blah, blah, blah. It's all existed. But today, the African-American community could fix its own problems. It could. But African-American, largely elites, refuse to do business with black people. They refuse to make hiring black people a priority. So what the consequence of that is you have no black infrastructure. You have very few black-owned businesses. You have very few African-American lawyers. Now, the truth is that Sean P. Diddy Combs could have hired an African-American lawyer. Or there are no competent African-American lawyers in the Tier 3 states of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. It's, to quote my friend and favorite, no, I guess she's not my friend, I wish she was, to quote my favorite multicultural club member, female political sports analyst, Joy Taylor, two things can be true at once. Two things can be true at once. It can be true that there are no competent African-American lawyers working in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. And it can be true that P. Diddy Combs simply chose not to hire one, chose not to even look for one, chose not to even consider the possibility of hiring a black lawyer. Why does this matter? It matters to us as multicultural club members because the truth of the matter is this. If you can't defend yourself at its most basic level, if you can't defend yourself, if you can't walk into a court and say, my client didn't do that, or that didn't happen, if you can't do that, you have no power. or you have illusory power. That's probably more accurate. Yes, if you are a billionaire, you apparently can hire a lawyer to come and fight for you. But if you can't fight for yourself, you don't control your defense. You don't control who you are. African Americans as a whole and the African American community has been relegated to having to go hat in hand and beg a Caucasian lawyer to help them. That's great if you don't want to control your life. We, as a multicultural community, I say it over and over, we have to control who we are. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, by the way, 1,000 subscribers, like and subscribe, our first guest I'm going to call on this version of the Fletchcast, I'm going to bring in a multicultural lawyer. He's a commercial litigation person, he's really good, and he's a club member, and he's available. We're going to, on this podcast, make sure that you all know that here are these lawyers out there. Here's this accountant. Here is this florist. Here is this whatever business entity there is a need for. We're going to make sure that we emphasize them on this podcast so that we don't have to go out and beg someone to represent us. This issue with Sean P. Diddy Combs, it's the same as Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill makes $35 million a year. He couldn't hire a competent black lawyer. He couldn't hire a competent white lawyer. If you can't defend yourself, you are a victim. If you can't defend yourself, you have no power. Sean P. Diddy Combs, either there are no African-American lawyers, competent African-American lawyers in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, or he refused to hire a competent African-American lawyer in New York, from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. In either regard, it hurts the black community. This is our warning. I'm 100% multicultural, but I'm half Caucasian and half African-American. I have empathy for both communities. I look at the African-American community and I say, guys, this is a problem. It could be fixed. The African-American community could fix this problem tomorrow. They could start hiring each other. P. Diddy Combs could say, you know what? I need to have an African-American attorney. He won't. But we're not going to make that mistake. We're going to support ourselves. I'm not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to end up like P. Diddy Combs or Tyreek Hill. We are not going to put ourselves into this situation where the African-American community finds itself. And that is having to beg people to help them. That is not where that community should be, and it's not where we're going to be. I'm Michael Fletcher. Thank you. And we're going to 1,000 subscribers, and you guys are great. We'll be there Monday, I'm guessing. Thank you.